Hello everybody, and welcome to another exciting, lookout, wonderful, brilliant oil painting lesson. Today we're going to do our normal 16 by 20. We've got this one and two more left, and then we're going to go to some smaller sizes just because I have extra painting surfaces, and we're going to go through them all. We have our normal palette, 6 colors. We have Cadmium Yellow Light Hue, Alizarin Crimson, French Ultramarine, that was good, Viridian, Payne Gray, Burnt Sienna, and Titanium White. And I got to clean my finger up. So that was a good start. Okay, today I do have something in mind a little bit. Obviously it's going to be a mountain scene with water and all kinds of nice stuff. But I don't know, got this one on my head. So what we're going to do is we're going to go with a little Viridian and French Ultramarine today. Okay, we're going to have our horizon line a little higher than normal, just a little bit. Okay, not sure how high it's going to be, but right in that area. I might lower it down. And yes, that's Raphael saying hello to everybody because he doesn't know how to keep his mouth shut. And Santa Claus is going to be coming soon for him. Maybe. But I don't know if he's been a good enough boy. My wife says he is, but she's biased. Okay, so we're going to have a range of mountains going all over the place. Okay. Big one up here. So we're not going to have much of a sky today. And we're just going to kind of do one of those. Okay. Let me bring this down just a little bit. Okay, I'm going to do that. And then we're going to put it all together. I'm using our Burnt Sienna and Payne Gray. I want those just a little bit steeper. Now the thing of it is, all of this next to it's not going to be water like I have it. I just wanted to get a kind of idea. You know, it's a horizon line water color, but I just wanted to lay it out so I knew where my mountains are going to be. Now you can tell too. Let me see if you can tell. Yes, you can tell. I have a bunch of different colors here in the mountains, and that's cool because mountains are a bunch of different colors. You know, unless you're going up into the very top of the Himalayas or something, they're going to be all kinds of colors depending on how the sun hits it, the time of the year, all that other neat stuff. And here's the other thing. I have something in mind, but we're still going loose. Look at this. We're still not doing anything that's precise. We're not architectural rendering anything. Which, by the way, I took that class, and for all of you, and when I was in college, any of you people that can do that class really well, I mean this sincerely, God bless you. You are better people than me. I had to drop that class after a month. I just could not get that technical, which you can obviously see by the style I paint in. I am not technical. Okay, so what we're going to do, and again, this isn't the water line. It's going to be a decent amount of foliage in here too. I'm going to bring this down a little bit. I like the way that comes down a little bit. So let's just... Okay, so what I'm thinking about doing here now, let's put in our water. This isn't going to be the final straw, whatever. This is going to be a good idea. I'm going to have a lot of grass here, so I'm going to have water like this. Okay, and then I have water in here. And then I'm going to have it come out a little bit. And then I'm going to have the water come over here. Okay? And when the water comes over there, it's going to go off. And it's going to come out down again. Pretty much like that. Okay? And then I'm going to have a little bit of stuff. Probably... for sure here. A little jetty of land here. And obviously this is land. This is land up here. Put a little Viridian and burnt umber here to kind of do the same thing. Add a little Payne spray down here. I think I'll have the water go off over there. Add a little bit of Alizarin Crimson in here too. You know how my foreground land is usually a little of everything. There's no reason to stop it. Hey, what the hell's your problem? There we go. Got that land, got that land. Let's see what I'm doing here. Yeah, for some reason he wants to talk today, so I hope he's not bothering you too much. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, that'll work. Okay, I'm gonna wipe off my brush. Even though there's a lot of colors on it, which are gonna be all over the place. I'm just gonna go right into my blue now. And a little bit of Payne's gray and whatever else is on the brush. I'm going to put in the water. I'm not going to finish the water because I got a lot of highlights and everything else I'm doing. And this right here, I got to make sure I understand. And don't forget there's land right there. There we go. And this little water here is going to be there, but it's going to be covered. I'll probably have foliage here. I'm not sure how far. As you can see, even though I had something in mind, there's still a lot of what ifs to it. There's still a lot of, okay, I'm not sure what the hell I'm doing. And that's a good thing. You don't want it to be stale. You don't want it to be stale. You want it to have some liveliness to it. You want it to, you know, you want it to be alive. Okay? I know liveliness, alive, same thing. I don't have anything new coming to my head at the moment. But you don't want it to look like it's stagnant. You want some action to it. You want a little of this, a little of that. All kinds of stuff. And that's one of the things about oil painting. Well, any painting. Okay, any art creativity. Doesn't matter what your medium is. Mine just happens to be oil paints. But you don't want stuff to be dead. You want it to look like it's got some life to it. Okay? So now I'm going to wipe my brush off. I'm not going to clean it, just wiping it. I bought a new pair of sweatpants and a nice, I forget the name of it, pullover. It's not like it's a hoodie, but it's not like a regular sweatshirt hoodie. It's a little more, it's for when my wife and I go to the gym and work out together and stuff. And then she basically threatened me with bodily harm if I get any paint on it. She said you got old sweats to paint in, so paint in those. So I made sure I changed before I started the video. Okay, so, excuse me. Now what I'm going to do, you see this is all over the place. That's good. And it's all with heavy doses of the medium, so that's why it's so light, and you can kind of see the canvas below it. Now I want to make everything horizontal for the water. So just do the horizontal strokes. It doesn't have to be perfectly horizontal, okay? But you want it to where, and yes, I'm going through the land like normal, but you want it to where it's a nice feel for it. There we go. Let's step back and see how that looks. That looks pretty good, but this needs to be a little straighter. Step back. That's better. Okay. Now I'm going to wipe my brush off. Then I'm going to put in the sky, and then all of our canvas will be covered. I don't have to worry about it. I've got enough dark on my brush that I don't have to really worry about adding a lot more blue to it. And it's got this nice grayish look because I've got everything on it. And I'm going to go into the mountain a little bit, so I'm going to have a little bit of those colors in my sky. So my sky is not going to just be this is just a, no, it's not going to be just a straight blue like you have in the little books when you're young. Although that is what I thought a sky was for many years. Then I started doing a little bit of observation when I was younger, looking up at the skies like, wait a minute. It's got all kinds of damn colors in it. No such thing as a dirty sky. It's whatever the hell you want it to be. This is my first opaque passages, the sky. Everything else has been real thin, as you've seen. Got another 2 shows coming up. This weekend coming up, I got Sandburg High School in Orland Park, Illinois. If anybody's local, come and see it. Their fall show is big. They actually bus people in. They don't have room. It's a massive school anyway, but they don't have room in the regular parking lot for the vendors or the patrons. So they actually bus them in from different locations. And those shuttles are going all day long, both Saturday and Sunday. It's really big. It's in Orland Park, like I said, at Sandburg High School. If you're local watching this, check it out. It's actually great. It's only a few bucks to get in, I think. And they've got, I'm guessing, 300-400 vendors. It's really nice. This is my first year as a vendor. My wife and I used to go a lot as patrons. So this is the first time I'm going to be selling there. I got accepted this year, so see what happens. And actually, this painting, when it's done, will end up being there because it'll be dry in enough time to get there. Works out real nice, doesn't it? Okay, now what I'm doing is I'm just kind of blending out my shapes. And I'm going to have some more dark color that I'm going to do here right about now, just to re-outline them. There we go, re-outline it. I don't know if that's actually a real word or not. If it's not, it should be. And I'm claiming it now. I came up with a new word. Let's see here. Okay, now what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to put some trees in here. They're not going to be way up into the sky. I'm going to leave the sky towards that. I'm going to put some clouds in there. As a matter of fact, I think I'm going to do that now. Now I'm going to put different color clouds in there. Start obviously with some white. There we go. And I love doing clouds like this. It's just haphazard, just all over the place. You don't have to be a perfectionist. Just get them in there, okay? And then a little bit of Payne's gray. Remember, Payne's gray, even though it shows up as gray with when you add white to it, it's still a very, very severely dark blue, technically. And it's a great landscape color. Okay, I got all that stuff in. Now I'm going to take clean 1-inch brush. Clean the fan because I'm not sure what I'm going to use it for later, but I don't want anything to settle on the bristles. Actually, I'm just going to take my 1.5 that I've been using. Don't be afraid to use however many brushes you want, but remember, the more you use, the more you got to clean. So what I'm doing, okay. I'm not even going to clean it. Just, I wiped it off. And remember, very lightly, both directions. So we'll start with this. Very lightly. You don't want to press hard and blend it in. You want to just diffuse and move it around. That's it. It takes a little bit of touch, a little bit of getting used to, but it'll be good. And then we just do one of these. Just getting all those brush strokes off. And then, then you just start cleaning up the bottoms. There we go. There we go. Yeah, that guy looks good. I like those clouds. Okay, so next thing we're going to do, I'm going to take my knife. I got to move my burnt sienna over a little bit in my palette. What I did was I got it real dirty, so I took my burnt sienna and just moved it over with the palette knife. And that way I can take some more white. I don't want white highlights on this by itself. I don't want them pure white because there's a lot of white in those clouds. So I'm going to have the burnt sienna mixed with white, and I'll start with that. I'll show you how that looks. Okay. See how that you got the real nice contrast there? Go. And I'm just touching the canvas, and it's taking what it wants and leaving the rest. And basically it's just like showing shimmers of light wherever. And I'll put a little bit of blue in here for shadows. That I'm going to leave. That one looks like it's going to be a little further back. So, here we go. That's where our highlights are going to be. And now, I'm going to take same knife, and I'm just going to take some blue mixed with white. I want it a little bit opaque. That's a little too blue. Got to add a little bit of Payne's gray in there. A little too blue. There we go. You don't need a ton of shadow, just a little bit. Some green on there by mistake. I got my, that's not good. I got my paper towel in my hand so I can wipe it as I go. Get a smaller knife. Over here. There we go. Let's see how that looks. Very good. Just got to get this a little bit darker. Over here. I'm not big into straight lines, but I want this just a little straighter. I Usually don't fuss this much on a ridge, but for some reason I want that a little bit more. That I'll leave it alone. There, that looks much better. That looks much better. And then I'm going to put a little bit more. Forgive me if I know I'm probably in the way here, but I want to get a little bit of more shadow here and there. You don't have to go crazy on shadows because you don't know what's going to be covered with foliage. But you do need a little bit in there. Light and shadow playing on each other is what gives everything its realistic modeling look. Modeling look, I'm sorry. And you just need to see where you're doing it. Like I said, for the shadows, you don't have to go everywhere, but you do have to have it enough. There we go. Okay. One more place. I apologize for being so picky with this. Just want it to be okay. That I can deal with now. Got the blade marks out here. Alrighty. Okay, finally got done with that. Okay, so we're pretty close to done with the tops of the mountains up. We're going to put some tree lines in here now. So the first thing I'm going to do is reestablish this. Now the water, you're going to see which way it's flowing as I put in the foliage, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a lot of green in this one, and I'm going to put it all the way in the back and around. So for that, what's the best way I'm going to do this? You know what I'm going to do? Just going to go straight into the CAD light. And I'm going to outline where I'm going to go. Once I get that outline in, then I can add this foliage as far as the trees themselves. I'm also going to outline my land here. This obviously is not going to be the finished product by no stretch. But I'm just giving myself an indication of where everything is so I know. Because, you know, I'm using the same colors. Remember, I don't use a big palette. I got 6 colors today. A lot of times I use 5 colors plus white. So a lot of stuff, I just have different amounts of each color. So that's why you get, you know, you can see blue here. But on the video, it's going to be tougher to see. So I want to make sure I have it outlined at least with what's going to be there. So this is going to be some kind of a grass around. So that way you'll be able to see where the water is. You'll be able to see where the lands are. You'll be able to see where I'm going to put trees, that type of thing. And it'll just be easier for you to digest as you're painting along. Which I hope some of you are. That'd be kind of cool. And if you do, let me know. Hell, email them to me. Let me see let me see what you're doing. Let me see what it looks like. Free channel. I'm thinking about starting a Patreon page one of these days. See if I can help, you know, pay for the supplies and stuff. But my YouTube stuff, hell, it's free. Send me what you're with what you're doing. We'll learn together. Okay, so this I need to have a little bit more. There we go. Okay. Alrighty. So, very lightly, but I'm establishing everything. Now, I'm obviously going to have some of that yellow and green in the water. That's fine. It's surrounded by yellow and green. So that's what it's going to look like anyway. Not a big deal. Okay, so now I'm taking my 1-inch brush. Now, you know the way I make trees. I usually go with dark, 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 everything. And then I go back with the yellow. And then I blend it together on the canvas to make the green. I'm not going to do that today. I want these mountains to be a lot more pronounced than normal. So I'm going to have, up a little bit into the mountains, but not much. So the majority of what you see is what you're going to continue to see. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make the mountains the final color, the final green from the beginning. So I'm just going to go right in with my Cad Yellow Light, and I'm going to go right into my Payne's Gray. Now, I got dark on there too, so that's going to help. Watch. A little bit more Payne's Gray. Too yellowy yet. There we go. That's it. I wanted more green, not more yellow. That's it. Now it's also mixing a little bit with that dark that I've got on there. I'm just using the corner to get around these little ones. But this is like, I don't know, maybe a mountainscape I'm going to call this one. And I want most of the mountain visible. This one is going to go up a little bit higher. Let me sit back here. A couple other places. Go up over there. There we go. Yep, that's what I'm going to go with. I like that. There's a lot of times in a lot of our paintings we've done together where the mountains are just a background, not necessarily distant, but they don't have as prominent of a role. They're there because you know they're there, you see some stuff. These, with the way I've got the highlights and the shadows and where I put them in the painting, I wanted this to be a little bit more mountainy. Okay, now I'm going to take this. Now remember, I'm still got to hit this with white to put that opaque in it. I'm going to do that here in a second. So I've got basically we're done from here up. So this third is done. That's the longest. The rest of it we're going to fly in through now. So there's going to be trees all over the place, bushes, shrubs, whatever the heck it is. I'm not sure yet exactly how it's going to work or how it's going to look, but for now, we'll start out with, let's just get the opaque in, and then we'll put in more color. And like I said, this area here, this little peninsula jutting out, will probably cover that water. But there's going to be areas that it won't cover 100%. So I want to make sure we're good. And you don't want to go crazy with the white, but you want to have it to where it is opaque. This isn't watercolors where it's, a transparent medium. Oil paint is an opaque medium, and you want to use it as such. And that's where you get those layers of just juicy, rich, beautiful, deep oil color. So, there we go. That's all opaque. Now what we do is the blue. And be very liberal with the blue. Just don't worry about using too much. You can't. We have our base down. We have our opaque base. We have a layer. We have our base. We have our opaque layer. I'm leaving some little whites here and there because that's the way it is in real life. You know, I'm not covering everything up because depending on the depth of the water and everything else, it's different colors depending on the depth. You know, the deepest blues, I believe, are the real deep parts. Deepest blue for deepest parts. That makes sense. And it's, you know, different colored blues, or you see more greens. What the hell is that? Huh, something came off of my brush. Didn't like that. And then you see more of the bottom, more of the shoreline, whatever the case may be. So you just... everything is up to you, the artist, of what you want it to look like. This is your own little creation, so you do it however the hell you want. Let's see here. See, now I like that. I like that a lot. Now I'm just going to smooth it out. And this isn't even going to be waterfalls or anything else. Just a nice little quiet body of water buried somewhere in the mountains that you just don't see. And I just covered that up. I didn't want to, but I needed to get this closer, so I covered it up. Doesn't matter. I'll have water lines that'll reestablish it. There we go. And this is one of the parts of oil painting, which I'm doing now, that you can't do in acrylics and watercolors or anything else. This is one of the beauties of oil painting. You can really blend the crap out of it, get it as smooth as you want. Like I said, I don't want this to be just a nice little quiet body of water somewhere in the mountains. I mean, for all we know, the only way you can get into this place is to fly in with one of those little pontoon propeller boats, planes or something. We have no idea. You know, I have some ideas from a few pictures here and there, and then everything else is just ad-libbed. You know, we just do whatever. So you get an idea, and then you make it yours. Okay, so let us see what we're going to do. Okay, the first thing I want to do is I got to get water lines in, because I'm going to have foliage coming up into the water everywhere, and I want the water lines in first, otherwise it'd be impossible to get them in later. So we're going to take our big palette knife, since we're not going to have fast moving water. I'm going to put water lines in. A little thicker there. Oh, that's way too thick. Okay, we'll take care of that later. And basically I'm just using the edge. It's hard to see, but I'm using the edge of the knife. Damn, being sloppy today. Usually not that sloppy. You want these horizontal as well. And this. Okay. This I'm going to go a little bit more. There we go. Another beauty of oil painting, when you screw up like I did, you can save it. Okay, so take the 1-inch brush. I'm not going to bother cleaning it. I'm just going to wipe it off real good, because it's got a lot of my watercolors in it anyway. and I just want to diffuse. Remember, we do these water lines the same way we do the clouds. Maybe a little firmer in areas like this where I screwed up, but overall not that firm. And you're just diffusing. And the more you diffuse, the more it'll blend in with the blue. And the better it'll look. You want to keep these as horizontal as possible. They don't have to be perfect because it's the wind. So the wind will, you know, make it shimmer a little differently here and there. Let's see how that looks in the back. Yeah, this is just a little too white here. I'll blend that into the blue a little bit. Same thing up here. There we go. And there we go. Come on. Here we go. Perfect. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I am going to go crazy with this 1-inch brush, Payne's Gray, and French Ultramarine. And I'm going to put bushes everywhere. And that's going to be the same color. I want dark. And I'm going to hit these with highlights. And there's going to be a lot of green. This is a very green painting. This is going to be like a deep, desolate area. At first I was going to make these disappear by putting taller ones, but since I want to keep the mountains, I'm just going to make shrubs and then we'll see this water. So the water will be just as prominent as the mountains. And I just figured that out a few minutes ago. And then I'm going to have palette knife grass here, maybe. Not sure. It's going to have texture, I haven't decided yet. Which, if you followed me at all, you understand that I usually don't make up my mind until I'm doing it. Which is kind of cool. I like it anyway. It used to get frustrating when I was first beginning to paint. I don't like that white there, so cover it up. It used to be frustrating, but then I learned to kind of go with it, and that helped a lot. Okay, here we go. Wipe that brush off, because this is going to be the one we're going to put foliage in. Maybe I'll use the palette knife. I don't know. Now I'm going to use the 1.5. I'm just going to put the grass texture in, just so we know where we're at. Damn, I'm making noise today. Between the bird. Sorry, guys. Gals. Well, actually, no. There's very few gals watching me. I don't know why women hate me. I love you. I'm married to one. But it's still like 90% guys or something on my channel. It's like, man, I thought women were very artistic and loved to paint. Come on, ladies. There we go. How do I get this? So it's got a base to it. There we go. Okay, so we have our texture set. We have everything set right here. So the next thing I'm going to do is I am going to say the hell with it. And I'm going to use a palette knife. My wife hates it when I do this, but I'm going to use it. Okay, so I used French ultramarine and Viridian for all my shrubs and bushes here and everything else. And I'm going to also put in and tap different things. So, things. Actually, I got a palette knife I haven't used in a while. I'm going to find here real quick. Okay, I can't find it. Damn, I thought I had it out. Otherwise, okay, I apologize. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to use a bigger one. There we go. You don't want to cover everything, okay? You want to keep a little bit of that base. There. So, wipe it off. Now this is just, I know you probably, let me see. Yeah, you can tell a little bit, but you can't tell a lot. I just put a straight Alizarin Crimson over what I just did. Okay, but it's so damn dark you can't see it. So now I'm going to do, put this little green Cadmium Yellow mixture. I don't want to have bunches on it. I want it to be textured correctly. Okay. Now, next thing I'm going to do is I've got everything horizontal, which I don't like. But that was just to get the color on. So now I'm going to take some more. See how I'm doing this? Using the knife straight up and down. Taking the color that's already there. See how I'm doing that? There we go. And I'm going to add just a little bit of white to this. Just a little bit here and there. To lighten it up a little bit. There we go. And that looks pretty good actually. And I know I'm going to need a lot more yellow because I have a hell of a lot more to go. So I'm just going to put a bunch out. But I'm going to use white in some areas. I'm going to use all kinds of stuff everywhere. So I'm going again with the Alizarin Crimson. Okay. Wipe it off. And now I'm going to hit, well, now I'm not going to use the yellow on this part. Now I'm going to hit straight white. Now watch. Get that on there. Look at that beautiful dark pinkish whatever. Okay, wipe off the knife. Now we're going to go like this. A little bit more. Don't worry, it's not going to look this stark white because I'm going to right now put more of the alizarin on. It's almost like when you're doing your reflections, well, your highlights and stuff on your mountains. You go back and forth with the colors until you get it the way you want. Now I'm going to like this. You can still see the water behind it. I'm just going to take some just a little bit there. This is my green mixture I've been using for stuff. Here a little bit. There we go. One of the things with a palette knife is it's tricky in the beginning. Who am I kidding? It's tricky all the time, even when you get used to it like I am. But you can just keep doing it. You're going to make some beautiful texture shapes. And it's the type of stuff that you actually do see in nature, okay? So nature isn't everything smooth and perfect. Nature has a little of everything in it. And that's what you got to do. Now I don't like the way this red is. So I'm going to add my mixture of Payne's Gray and French Ultramarine, and look at the lavender that's coming out now. Now it's breaking it up better, and I got lavender. Okay, so now I'm gonna go over here. This is just going to be shrubs and bushes and stuff that's falling down. I'm leaving this dark ridge here for a nice separator. And that's all I'm doing over there. Okay, I'm going to do a little bit more of the yellow like that here with the green. Now, I'm also going to do a little bit of yellow to brighten it up just a little bit. This is too close to the foreground to be as dark as it was. So I want little lighter greens here. I'm just using the side of the knife. It's hard to see, but I'm only using that ridge. And then there we go. Keep a little bit of that texture. There we go. Texture this just a bit. It's too hard of a line. I don't like that hard of a line. There we go. And this also needs to be loosened up a little bit. There we go. Here. There we go. Blend it in. Okay, let's see what she looks like. Okay, I got some brights here. I got some brights there. Not too bad. Now I'll take this. just a little bit of that color underneath, so it looks like some of it's on the ground. Okay, so now what I'm going to do, I'm going to put the palette knife away, and I'm going to take my 1-inch brush, which is what I use to put everything down, and I'm going to go full court press green, bright with yellow. And remember, you got to keep a lot of the darks. Otherwise, it's not going to look right. And I'm barely touching. I'm just letting, you know, I went real thick with the base, and I'm letting basically the brush and the paint take what it wants. So I'm not hitting it really hard, but I'm making sure that I have a thick amount of paint on the brush. I'm not chintzing on that. When it comes to oil painting, when in doubt, more paint. You can always scrape it off. And now I'm just making shapes. I don't want it to be like there's just, everything is a little bit random this. There we go. Okay. Now I'm going to take my big palette knife and I'm going to mix up a little bit of red with a lot of yellow. I want this relatively thick too, even though it looks like I'm spreading it thin, because I'm going to tap it in to make like a grass texture. I'm going to add a little bit more blue in here. Go. A little bit more red. That's too much red. There we go. Then I will start tapping it. I'm just going right over that thick paint, and I'm letting the knife and the canvas do all the work. Going right into the flowers, shrubs, whatever the hell they are. And I'm keeping these strokes horizontal. These were on an angle, so I want to have a little bit different contrast, so I'm making these horizontal. There we go. Okay, we're almost done. I got something in my head that going through, and I only got one paper towel left, so I do have a couple of rolls left, but just one that I put out. So what I think I'm going to do, go with some Payne's Gray for some darker areas. And then some of this light burnt sienna. Put that in some areas. Put a little bit more of that over here. I like the way that color's mixing in. Okay. I'll take a little medium knife or the yellow. Let's do this in a couple places. Just to go. I want to keep some texture and I want to get some of this smooth. Here we go. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you enjoyed this painting. It'll be up sometime later tonight. It is, what the hell is it? Sunday the what? 17th, I think. So I hope everybody enjoyed it. I hope you had a great weekend. Thanksgiving is coming up really quick, a week from Thursday. So if you have any questions, please leave a comment. If you want to try this painting, upload it. Send it to my email that's in my profile. And I'd love to see what you guys come up with. So I hope everybody has a great week. Be safe, and I'll see you next time.